The space race began in 1957, when the Soviet Union successfully launched Sputnik, the world's first artificial satellite. But the agency pressed on, determined to achieve Kennedy's ambitious goal. Over the next few years, NASA made significant advancements. Moments later, Buzz Aldrin joined Armstrong on the Moon, describing the desolate lunar landscape as magnificent desolation. The impact of the moon landing was profound. At the height of the Cold War, two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, were locked in a fierce battle for technological and political supremacy. This competition extended far beyond Earth's boundaries, giving rise to the space race, a quest for dominance in space exploration. This rivalry would culminate in one of the greatest feats in human history, landing a man on the moon. On July 20, 1969, NASA's Apollo 11 mission made history when American astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to set foot on the moon, while their colleague Michael Collins orbited above in space. This monumental achievement was the result of years of tireless effort, scientific ingenuity, and an unrelenting desire to push the boundaries of human potential. The space race began in 1957 when the Soviet Union successfully launched Sputnik, the world's first artificial satellite. This achievement took the world by surprise and placed immense pressure on the United States to catch up. The stakes rose further in 1961 when Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit Earth. With the Soviet Union gaining ground, the United States needed a bold response. In 1961, U.S. President John F. Kennedy delivered a historic speech in which he set a seemingly impossible goal: to land an American on the moon and bring him safely back to Earth before the end of the decade. This declaration laid the foundation for NASA's Apollo program, a series of missions aimed at turning this vision into reality. However, the journey to the moon was fraught with challenges. The Apollo program encountered numerous obstacles, including a devastating tragedy in 1967, when a cabin fire during a pre-launch test for Apollo 1 claimed the lives of 3 astronauts. This disaster shook NASA and cast doubt on the feasibility of the program, but the agency pressed on, determined to achieve Kennedy's ambitious goal. Over the next few years, NASA made significant advancements. Apollo 7 successfully tested the command module, and Apollo 8 became the first mission to orbit the moon. These milestones set the stage for Apollo 11, the mission that would finally put humans on the lunar surface. On July 16, 1969, Apollo 11 launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The spacecraft carried 3 astronauts: Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. They were propelled into space by a Saturn V rocket, the most powerful rocket ever built. Their mission was to land on the moon and return safely to Earth. After a 4-day journey, the spacecraft entered lunar orbit on July 19th. The next day, Armstrong and Aldrin boarded the lunar module, nicknamed Eagle, while Collins remained in lunar orbit aboard the command module, Columbia. As the Eagle descended towards the moon, tension mounted both in mission control and across the globe. With fuel running dangerously low and computer alarms sounding, Armstrong manually piloted the lander to a safe landing site in the Sea of Tranquility. At 4:18 p.m. EDT on July 20th, 1969, Armstrong radioed back to Earth. "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." After hours of preparation, Neil Armstrong opened the hatch of the lunar module and descended the ladder to the moon's surface. At 10:56 p.m. EDT, he made his historic first step, uttering the now famous words, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. His momentous first steps were broadcast live to an estimated 600 million people around the world, making it one of the most watched events in history. Moments later, Buzz Aldrin joined Armstrong on the moon, describing the desolate lunar landscape as magnificent desolation. Together, they conducted experiments, collected samples of lunar soil and rocks, and planted the American flag, an image that would become an enduring symbol of human achievement. While Armstrong and Aldrin explored the lunar surface, Michael Collins remained in orbit, alone, aboard the command module. Collins's role was vital to the mission's success, as he ensured the safe redocking of the lunar module with the command module for the journey back to Earth. Although Collins did not walk on the moon, his contribution was indispensable. Orbiting the moon alone, Collins later described the experience as feeling lonely, but not alone, knowing that he was part of a larger mission that would change history. After spending over 21 hours on the moon, Armstrong and Aldrin returned to the lunar module, and the ascent stage of the Eagle lifted them back into lunar orbit. They successfully docked with Collins in the command module, and the three astronauts began their return journey to Earth. Re-entry into Earth's atmosphere was a critical moment, but Apollo 11's capsule safely splashed down in the Pacific Ocean on July 24, 1969. The astronauts were celebrated as heroes upon their return, but first, they had to undergo a 21-day quarantine to ensure that no potential lunar contaminants were brought back to Earth. The impact of the moon landing was profound. It was a defining moment in the Cold War, symbolizing not just a victory for the United States in the space race, but a triumph of human perseverance and ingenuity. The mission was a demonstration of what could be achieved through the collaborative efforts of science, engineering, and technology. The Apollo program, which spurred numerous advancements in fields like computing, telecommunications, and materials science, left a lasting legacy that continues to shape the modern world. Beyond its technological and political significance, the 1969 moon landing was a powerful symbol of human potential. The image of Armstrong and Aldrin walking on the lunar surface remains etched in the collective memory of humankind, representing a moment when humanity reached beyond its earthly limitations to explore the unknown. The success of Apollo 11 also inspired future generations of scientists, engineers, and explorers, proving that even the most ambitious goals could be realized through perseverance and innovation. As we look to the future, the legacy of the moon landing continues to influence space exploration. NASA's Artemis program aims to return humans to the moon by the late 2020s, with plans to establish a sustainable presence on the lunar surface and eventually send astronauts to Mars. Private companies like SpaceX are also working towards ambitious space exploration goals, carrying on the legacy of the Apollo program by pushing the boundaries of what is possible. The story of the 1969 moon landing is one of humanity's greatest triumphs. It was the result of years of dedication, collaboration, and visionary leadership. Neil Armstrong's iconic words, "One giant leap for mankind," perfectly encapsulate the significance of the moment. The moon landing was not just a victory for the United States, it was a victory for all of humanity, a testament to what we can achieve when we work together in pursuit of a common goal. As we look towards new frontiers in space exploration, the legacy of Apollo 11 will continue to inspire future generations to reach for the stars and achieve the seemingly impossible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe to History Portal for more historical stories.